And moving on in the bulletin, when Parkland was named Florida's safest city last year by an American trade body, not many would have imagined that the danger was lurking right there in its LAs. A young man brought the town to a standstill in the early hours of Wednesday when he stormed inside his own alma mater and carried out a deadly attack. Here's a report on what happened at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida.
If I don't make it, I love you. This was the message Sarah sent her mother when she heard gunshots at her school in Florida. As the gunshots rang through Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, all hell broke loose.
We were talking to each other, but everyone kept shushing each other, and just everyone was pretty scared, and some people were crying, and just people were trying to comfort each other and saying it was going to be all right, and they were going to get out of here.
This is the 19-year-old who held the school hostage, an institution that he himself went to till last year. As the word spread about the horror that was unleashed in the school, terrified parents rushed to the spot, praying that their kids were safe.
She called me around 2:50, 3 o'clock. She told me that she's in one of the classroom closet area. She always texts to us what's going on, and last day she already escaped from there. She's so happy now, but everything went very bad.
But not everyone was as lucky. 17 people, including both students and staff, were killed in the carnage, planned and executed by a young man identified as Nicholas Cruz, whose digital footprints are nothing short of alarming.
Now, investigators have certainly began dissecting social media and looking at the website and the Nicholas, I think we spell his name Nikolas, Cruz, was the killer. He is in custody, and we've already began to dissect his websites and the things that social media that he was on, and some of the things that have come to mind are very, very disturbing.
As the local administration ordered a probe, condolences poured in, with President Trump and the First Lady expressing their shock. But are these words enough? What about the recurring incidents of gun violence in America? What happened in Florida on Wednesday was the 18th such incident in the last 2 months alone. In a country with almost 88 firearms per 100 people and lenient gun laws, how does one ensure such incidents don't occur again? Bureau Report, Wion.
Interestingly, US President Donald Trump tweeted just a few minutes back, predictably, there was no mention of the gun laws in the country. Instead, Trump put the blame on the shooter's mental health. He said, and I quote, "So many signs that the Florida shooter was mentally disturbed, even expelled from school for bad and erratic behavior. Neighbors and classmates knew he was a big problem. Must always report such instances to authorities again and again." And on this, I'm joined by my associate editor, Palki Upadhyay. Palki, despite the fact that so many killings take place on a monthly basis in schools in America, how come it just fails to bring pressure on the governments in bringing out a tougher gun control law, or to do away with the guns itself in American civil life?
Well, that's a very pertinent question, Karthikeya, given the numbers. 18 incidents of shooting, school shooting in 2018, and we're only in the middle of February right now. So 18 in a month and a half in 13 states. The US president tweets to say, and I'm quoting, "Prayers and condolences, no child, teacher or anyone else should ever feel unsafe in an American school." But more and more people are feeling unsafe. There is a very strong gun lobby that has political clout. The Republicans, the party that President Trump, you could say, belongs to or is associated with, has supported the gun lobby. There's huge money involved, and these people have a lot of clout, which is why, despite repeated instances of school shootings, of mass shootings in the US, precious little has been done to control it. And one parent best sums up the situation, and I'm quoting again, "This happens nowhere else other than the United States of America. The epidemic of mass slaughter, the scourge of school shooting after-school shooting. It only happens here, not because of coincidence, not because of bad luck, but as a consequence of our inaction. We are responsible. So Americans feeling a bit of responsibility, they voted this man in power. The Republicans have traditionally supported the gun lobby, and nobody's talking about changing the law, at least to the extent where they can build adequate pressure on the government to ensure that that change happens. So as you saw in that report, 88 guns per 100 people, that's one of the highest gun possession densities across the world.
Very well summed up. It's like saying, no one notices the bull in the china shop. It's like that. Yes, Palki, we are running short of time. I wish we had more time to get into the detail of this issue as to why students in American schools and universities flip and end up in crimes which are so dastardly and actually rip the moral and the social fabric of the society.